Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin. Thanks for tuning into our podcast, The Secret War on Cash, where we take a in-depth look at some of the things that are shaping up and shaping up good or bad, I should say, our economy. I have with me my co-host Chris Agelastos here today to discuss this with us. Chris, good morning. Nice to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Surviving Arizona summer, not too bad this week.
What do you think, Brad? Like, excuse me, maybe the halfway point now? I was thinking about that this
Uh,
morning.
I'm hoping we're a little past it, but it can stay hot here well through September. So most of the
Yeah.
country is having a pretty hot summer, like hotter than normal, and I think ours has been a little bit more mild overall. So I'm worried that we're gonna pay for that in the next month or so. Hopefully, I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's well, you know what? It's those mornings that barely like at the coolest point of the day where it barely gets under 100. That's
Yeah,
the brutal ones.
when you're
So
driving to the office at like 7:30 and it's already 95, 96 outside, it's
yeah.
hard to have an optimistic outlook on the rest of the day.
Well, that's a good reason to be inside working, I guess. So we'll look at
There you
that
go. The
positively.
bright side.
All right. Well, let's talk about a little AI today. We've got from Business Insider here. Let's see. OpenAI bursting the tech bubble could be the new Lehman moment, according to Ed Zeitron. And he says that that he's a chat GPT maker, and
Mhm.
he's likening this to 2008 when Lehman Brothers kind of brought down things with real estate and the banking industry. Um, that chat GPT and OpenAI is really the same thing. And he actually says almost a little bit worse because everything is so centralized to OpenAI, like the problem itself.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that it makes sense from the standpoint that it kind of like the comparison has been made as well as to the dot-com era. There's been just such an aggressive explosion of growth through stocks, et cetera, of these AI companies that that's by definition a bubble. When something goes up that much that quickly, and people
Yeah.
are obviously buying it forward more so than they are for the current, that's when you can potentially find yourself running into that bubble and subsequently that burst.
Yeah. This is very typical of a bubble. And what's scary about it is that even though he's talking here about the AI boom, or potential boom, um, the companies just aren't seeing the net result yet that they thought they were going to see. I mean, I'm reading more and more articles about companies letting people go to use AI, and perform better and save money, and they're finding out that they're spending more money on the AI, and it's not working as well as we were told and sold that it would. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to get there, and that's why you have to, when reading this article, it's not like he knows there's going to be a major collapse, but it's definitely setting up like that. And not only is it just going to affect AI stocks, though? I mean, our stock market overall, I mean, all these AI companies have brought a lot of money into the stock market. We haven't
Right.
really had a major crash in the market since I think 2009 or 10. I mean, we've had a couple of scary moments, but nothing significant, and those tend to happen every 10 to 12 years. So we're already hitting about the 15, 16 year mark, without a major drop there. So I think it's not just AI; it's what this could do to the rest of the market, which is where a lot of people keep a significant portion of their retirement savings. So it's definitely something people want to keep an eye on, and definitely diversify. Make sure that you're protected. If it continues to go well and AI becomes the greatest thing ever, you'll still make money. But if it tanks and you're diversified in other areas, you should at least be able to weather the storm.
Sure. Well, what I kind of find interesting about the whole AI dynamic in the financial markets is that the way the markets received AI here recently
Mhm.
was like it was this brand new thing, and it's always been here. The AI has been here. Is there growth, and has there been development, and has there been let's say exploration into implementing it into various other areas of the economy, et cetera? For sure. But at the end of the day, that's again the way Wall Street treated it was like they just found, this new medical technology that is going to change things. And again, that it was always there. It's just that it became honestly more of a buzzword than anything else on Wall
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
And that's where it's the growth and the amount of money that has gone into it, to your point, like versus what it's actually done. It really, the two don't the two really don't line up.
Not yet.
Right, right. So now getting into it's kind of related to a little different topic, but somewhat related in my opinion. From Watcher.guru here, our next article: Visa launches new platform providing crypto stablecoin services. Now, to me, this was interesting because I know a lot of people uh, who are involved in crypto and stablecoin, Bitcoin, etc., and they some of them kind of understand, excuse me. Some of them
Mhm.
don't understand it at all. And I mean, it runs the gamut. There's probably the whole
Yeah.
spectrum there. But what's interesting to me about this Visa announcing this, number one, it gave them a little bit of a spike up in their stock prices. But the big thing with this, Chris, is that, you know, this is what dawned on me, or what hit me as I was reading this. This is a way that because the White House has talked about, utilizing stablecoin for buying our
Mhm.
treasuries. There's been all the talk about where crypto would fit into this equation, and because of the theft that potentially can creep in there, the inability to really track it or trace it, which sounds good in a way, other than the fact that when you lose it,
Mhm.
um, the bottom line is that making these currencies available via a credit card, that's a good way to get a lot of people involved in something that even they may not want to be involved in, but
Yeah.
it's kind of just by, guilty by association, if you will. They will become we I guess I should say, would become involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about it. If Visa, Mastercard, and American Express all switch to stablecoin platforms, almost everybody in the U.S. Would be using that when they go use their card at the store, whether they want to be involved in it or not. And so this definitely shows that it's not going away. I know there's been a lot of talk of crypto and stablecoin over the last few years, but the fact that Visa has launched this platform, and they have over 200 million merchants, so 200 million companies that use the Visa network around the world. So it's definitely a big deal, and their goal here is to simplify the existing system, and really what I think it's going to do is put a lot of pressure on the banking system, and that's my concern. Um, because right now, all these Visa transactions have to run through our traditional banking system. But if they can use a stable coin, which is essentially a stable coin is sort of like using a digital dollar, a US dollar that is all electronic, that isn't as volatile as like Bitcoin. One of the problems with Bitcoin, we've even looked at it, is that if you receive money, you sell a product and you receive Bitcoin, and then you go cash it in at your bank, even later that day or the next day, it could be worth significantly less than what it was when you took it in, right? It's that volatile and that crazy. So the stable coin takes away that risk. So it's kind of like taking some of the positives of the banking system, some of the positives of cryptocurrencies, and melding them together into a usable product. So I do think this is the way we're going. But if this causes the banks to do less transactions and have less volume, unless they make up that money somewhere, that income that they make from doing all of the banking, it could cause major problems in the banks. And if the banks fall, and that's where you and I keep our savings, right, our money, then we need to really be concerned. So even though I'm not necessarily worried about stablecoin itself, I'm worried about the ramifications of it being used more widely like this, and the banking system, if they don't evolve and adapt soon enough, it could cause major problems for all of us, whether we're involved in stablecoin or not.
Sure. Well, and look, a frightening element or aspect to this, in my opinion, is we already have a banking system that is pretty fractured. We have banks have closed their doors. We've had
Yep.
even with our established current banking system, how many people have we heard whose monies that are in the bank has been frozen
Yeah.
very arbitrarily in many cases? So my point being is like we're already dealing with that part of the reality to look at Visa and or banking organizations that are going to start using a currency that there's been a ton of questions and surrounding it already in terms of
Yeah.
the safety, stability, et cetera. But again, if this is the way the powers that be take things, it's not. We really don't have an option. I mean, if I don't believe it's going to be I don't from the sounds of this, you don't get to choose. Okay, I want to do my transacting with my Visa with dollars or stable coin. I mean, I think it's just it is going to be whatever it is, if you will. So and it'll
Yeah.
convert or translate, but the bottom line is again, these are things that are happening kind of no different than we talked about in our previous podcast. There's nothing we can do about the cost of groceries going up the way. We just have to either not buy groceries or pay a lot more for the groceries.
That's it. Yep. You're right.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Chris. And thanks for those of you who are tuned in. If you're not subscribed, please do that as well. If you'd like more information on gold, silver, a report on secret war and cash, you can do that by calling or texting us at 1-800-289-2646 or visit us online at www.swissamerica.com. Again, thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.